If keto flu is hitting you hard, the problem is often not keto itself, it's electrolytes. When carbs drop, insulin drops too. That makes your kidneys release more water and more minerals, so you can feel tired, dizzy, headachy, crampy, and strangely anxious. And the frustrating part is this: many people think they're doing the right thing, but they're accidentally making the electrolyte gap worse. In this breakdown, you'll get a clean mental checklist. Not complicated, just the most common mistakes that turn a manageable transition into a rough one. We'll focus on sodium, potassium, and magnesium, plus hydration timing and hidden sources of loss. You'll also hear simple ways to sanity check what your body is telling you. The goal is to help you feel steadier, think clearer, and avoid the "I guess keto isn't for me" moment that's really just an electrolyte problem. Moving to slide 2. Mistake number 1 is thinking water alone fixes keto flu. If you only increase plain water, you can dilute what's left of your sodium. That can make headaches and lightheadedness feel worse, not better. Here's the key idea. Hydration is water plus minerals. When sodium is low, your body struggles to hold on to fluid where you want it, like inside your blood volume. So you can drink a lot and still feel dry or weak.
A practical way to think about it is this. If you're peeing frequently and the color is very pale, but you still feel off, you may be washing out electrolytes. This doesn't mean you should stop drinking. It means you should pair more of your fluids with sodium, especially early in the transition. Many people notice that the same amount of water feels completely different when sodium is adequate.
Moving to slide 3. Mistake number 2 is undersalting food because you're still following old low-salt habits. On keto, that habit can backfire. When insulin is lower, your kidneys tend to excrete more sodium. If you don't replace it, symptoms can show up fast: fatigue, brain fog, and that standing up feels weird lightheadedness. This is why many keto veterans talk about broth or salted water, not because salt is magic, but because sodium is a major driver of fluid balance and nerve signaling. The tricky part is that salting to taste may not be enough in the first week or two, especially if you're eating mostly whole foods without packaged sodium. A useful check is performance. If your workouts suddenly feel harder, or your heart feels like it's pounding on stairs, sodium is a suspect. You're not chasing a number. You're restoring a basic mineral your body is losing more quickly. Moving to slide 4. Mistake number 3 is choosing the wrong electrolyte product. Many mixes are basically flavored water with tiny amounts of minerals. Some are heavy on sodium but almost empty on magnesium. Others include sugar, which may not match your goals. And a big one, some use forms of magnesium that don't agree with your stomach, so you stop taking it. Instead of trusting the front label, flip to the facts panel. Look for meaningful amounts of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, not just a sprinkle. Also watch the serving size trick. 1 scoop might look decent, but the label assumes 2 or 3 servings per day. The best product is the one you'll actually use consistently and tolerate well. If you prefer simple, you can also build your own approach with salted food plus targeted magnesium. The point is to avoid the false security of a product that's too weak to matter. Moving to slide 5. Mistake number 4 is ignoring potassium, or being afraid of it, so you never replace it. Potassium works with sodium like a team. Sodium helps maintain fluid outside cells, and potassium is a major mineral inside cells. When potassium is low, you may notice muscle weakness, cramps, low energy, and sometimes a flat feeling in workouts. The common trap is assuming you'll get enough from meat alone. Many potassium-rich choices are foods like avocado, leafy greens, mushrooms, and certain fish. Even then, intake can drop if your appetite is low during the first keto days. A smart approach is to prioritize potassium foods daily and be cautious with high-dose supplements unless you've been advised by a clinician. For most people, food-first potassium plus adequate sodium and magnesium is the smoother path. If cramps persist despite sodium, potassium is the next mineral to investigate. Moving to slide 6. Mistake number 5 is treating magnesium like an optional add-on. Magnesium is involved in muscle relaxation, sleep quality, and a lot of nerve signaling. When it's low, you can feel twitchy, cramped, restless at night, or mentally wired but tired. On keto, magnesium intake can dip if you cut out foods like beans and certain fruits, and you're not replacing it with nuts, seeds, and leafy greens. Another issue is absorption. Some forms of magnesium are better tolerated than others, and dose timing matters. Many people do better splitting magnesium rather than taking a big amount at once. Also, magnesium doesn't usually provide the immediate effect that sodium can, so people quit too soon. Think of magnesium as the stabilizer in the background. If your sodium is decent and your potassium foods are solid, but cramps and sleep are still off, magnesium is often the missing piece. Moving to slide 7. Mistake number 6 is getting electrolytes at the wrong time. People often wait until symptoms are intense, then try to catch up all at once. That can upset your stomach, and it can make the whole process feel unpredictable. A smoother strategy is to front-load a bit earlier in the day, and then top up around the times you tend to feel worst, often mid-morning, mid-afternoon, or after exercise. Another timing issue is sleep. If you're waking up with a racing heart or feeling dehydrated, you may need more sodium and fluid earlier, not right before bed. And if cramps hit at night, magnesium timing can matter. The goal is steadiness. Electrolytes are more like brushing your teeth than taking a painkiller. Small, consistent inputs often beat big reactive doses. When timing is right, energy and mood swings tend to flatten out. Moving to slide 8. Mistake number 7 is forgetting that caffeine and alcohol can increase fluid loss, especially during the early adaptation phase. Coffee can be fine for many people, but if you're already low on sodium, that extra diuretic effect can push you into headaches and jitters. The same goes for pre-workouts and energy drinks. Alcohol adds another layer because it can disrupt sleep and hydration at the same time. If you're trying to figure out why you feel terrible on keto, a simple experiment is to reduce these for a few days and see what changes. If you keep them, you may need to be more intentional with electrolytes and water. This isn't about banning anything. It's about understanding that stimulants and alcohol can amplify the exact losses that cause keto flu symptoms. When you're stable again, you can reassess what your body tolerates. Moving to slide 9. Mistake number 8 is sweating more than you realize and not replacing what you lose. Exercise, hot weather, saunas, and even a physically demanding job can dramatically increase sodium loss. And on keto, you may already be starting from a lower sodium baseline. The result can feel like sudden weakness, cramps, or a headache that shows up after activity. The fix is not complicated, but it has to be intentional. If you know you're going to sweat, plan electrolytes before and after. Also pay attention to salt stains on clothing or a salty taste on your skin. Those are clues you're losing a lot of sodium. Potassium and magnesium matter too, but sweat is especially sodium heavy. Many people blame overtraining when it's really under-replacing minerals. If your keto flu seems to come and go depending on activity, sweat loss is a prime suspect. Moving to slide 10. Mistake number 9 is accidentally taking in electrolyte blockers without realizing it. A big one is very low-carb eating plus lots of processed keto treats that use sugar alcohols. For some people, those can cause digestive upset, and when your gut is irritated, you can lose more fluid and minerals. Another sneaky factor is a sudden big jump in fiber supplements. That can change bowel habits quickly, which can change hydration needs. Even intense stress can shift how you retain fluid and how you sleep, which then affects cravings and electrolyte consistency. The point isn't that these things are bad, it's that they can change your baseline. If keto flu feels unusually intense, look for anything that's increasing bathroom trips, especially diarrhea. In that situation, electrolytes become even more important, and gentle, simple foods often help you stabilize faster. Moving to slide 11. Mistake number 10 is using symptoms to guess, but never using patterns to confirm. Electrolyte issues are predictable if you track a few signals. For sodium, look at dizziness on standing, headaches that improve with salty broth, and frequent urination. For potassium, look at muscle weakness and cramps that don't respond to sodium alone. For magnesium, look at twitching, tight muscles, and sleep that feels restless. Also watch timing. If you feel great in the morning and terrible by late afternoon, that's often a consistency problem, not a mysterious intolerance. You don't need to obsess or measure everything. Just run small, controlled adjustments. Change one thing for a day or two and see what moves. This approach prevents the common spiral of adding 3 supplements, changing your diet, and then having no idea what helped. Patterns turn keto flu from confusing to manageable. Moving to slide 12. Mistake number 11 is assuming electrolytes are only a week 1 issue. For many people, the first week is the loudest, but the need can continue, especially if you stay very low carb, do intermittent fasting, or exercise a lot. Fasting is a big one. When you skip meals, you also skip the salt you would normally get from food. So you might feel fine on keto with 3 meals, then feel awful when you start fasting. Same diet, different electrolyte intake. Another long-term factor is that whole food keto can be naturally low in sodium, unless you deliberately add it. The solution is to build electrolytes into your routine, not treat them like an emergency. Think in terms of habits: salted meals, potassium-rich foods daily, and magnesium support if needed. When electrolytes are part of the system, keto flu is less likely to randomly return. Moving to slide 13. Mistake number 12 is missing the minimum effective routine. So let's turn everything into a simple plan you can actually follow. First, make sodium the foundation. Many people do well adding salty broth or salted water, especially in the morning and around workouts. Second, make potassium food a daily non-negotiable. Think avocado, leafy greens, and mushrooms. Third, consider magnesium as your nightly stabilizer if cramps or sleep issues show up, and adjust the form and dose for tolerance. Fourth, match electrolytes to sweat. If you sweat a lot, you need more replacement. And finally, don't stack changes. Adjust one lever, then reassess. If you want one quick self-check, it's this. When sodium, potassium, and magnesium are all covered, energy tends to feel steadier and cravings often calm down. If this helped, make one change and stick with it for 2 days. Moving to slide 14. Quick recap. Keto flu often comes from a mismatch between water and minerals. The biggest mistakes are water-only hydration, undersalting, weak electrolyte products, forgetting potassium, and treating magnesium like an afterthought. Then you've got timing, sweat loss, and hidden drains like gut upset that can quietly multiply the problem. Keep it simple. Build a routine that fits your day, and use patterns to guide small adjustments. Now for one question. What hits you harder when you go low carb? Headaches or muscle cramps? Tell me in the comments with A for headaches or B for cramps. And if you want more clear practical breakdowns like this, subscribe. This information is not a substitute for medical advice. Ketosis is a tool. Metabolic flexibility is the goal.